Welcome back at our GMC Sierra. Tweet of the night comes from the Penguins, and they did it again with another power play goal now. Evgeny Malkin, Sergei Fedorov's second most points in NHL history for a Russian-born player. And boy, that says a lot for Evgeny Malkin in the time he's been around. It also says a lot about the Penguins power play, which right now has scored in 9 straight games, second longest streak only to Boston and Tampa, which has scored in 10 straight games. Let's get right to our number one Cochrane Go One Better call of the night, Andrew, and that would be John in North Versailles. Hey, John, go ahead.
Hey, John.
Thank you for taking my call.
John?
Andrew, you look good with your new haircut and your beard trim. You look like Jerome Bettis. But listen, my question is this. If they would have left Trubisky in there, don't you think that the Steelers probably would have been in the wild card hunt?
No. I think if they had done a lot of things better, closing out games defensively, I think this defense has been guilty of allowing opportunities slip by. I think their run game took a long time to get going. Trubisky was just, if you rephrase that and say, if Mitch Trubisky had played with a more aggressive, mindset as opposed to trying to be too protective of the football, maybe the results would have been different. But then again, we've seen, Andrew, that when he does that, sometimes he stare down receivers and all of a sudden there's a turnover. So, no, I don't. My answer to that would be no.
I think that Tomlin, the way he made Trubisky, the way he talked about Trubisky following that game, and even again today, he said basically when he follows our instructions and listens to the game plan, we win with him. Meaning when he doesn't take matters into his own hands and play recklessly, we can win. If everything else goes right, if we run the ball effectively, if we convert third downs, if we play great defense, if we stop the run, it's like all those other things have to go right. So if you noticed when Tomlin was asked, even right after the game, about Trubisky, he said it's easy to play quarterback when you have that run game going. Like he really took great pains, Bob, to not really go above and beyond in praising Mitch Trubisky, which makes me think that he feels like the quarterback ideally is a byproduct of what they're doing everywhere else right now. It's not the star of the show like it was with Big Ben for so many years.
Yeah. Well, I think with few exceptions, if you have a Patrick Mahomes, if you have a Josh Allen, if you have a Joe Burrow, and maybe in time a Kenny Pickett, then, you can rely on your quarterback to win games on his own. I don't know that they have anyone right now on the roster who can do that, so I get it. And I think most teams have to function that way, but it takes everyone doing their part. And I think, like I said, the defensive, they let the Jets and Zach Wilson go 10 for 12 in the fourth quarter of a game here at home. They should have won. And the Patriots consumed the clock at the end. They couldn't get back on the field. Those are on the defense as much as it is on the offense. All right, let's go to Cliff in Washington. Cliff joins us right now on the Borders and Borders hotline.
Yeah. How you doing, guys? Great to see you again. Hey, let's not totally disagree with Tomlin about it. You don't learn that by sitting on the bench. If I'm not mistaken, Roethlisberger sat over a year on the bench before he started playing that.
Well, he got in because of an injury.
He's coming up on his second concussion, all right? You have people can play in front of him. He has a hard time picking up the audibles now. And, let him sit there and learn something. Don't get this kid busted up where he won't.
He's not going to get busted up. Listen, if the medical staff clears him, then he's capable of playing. And I agree, if he's in there, he's going to learn more. You have to. And I think that's what I'm going to take away more from this season, Andrew, is the fact that he's played a lot, and I think he's advanced himself. It may not reveal itself in statistics that are overwhelming, but I see a lot of different things he's done that will help him as he goes into 2023.
Yeah, I think since the bye week, he's really played well. Now, you can nitpick certain things. Should he be a little bit more aggressive? Absolutely. Are there certain plays where maybe he'd be better off throwing the ball instead of taking off and running? Yeah, but, these are not big, major issues. These are not cardinal quarterback sins. They're just areas where he needs to improve, and I think he will. Look at Jalen Hurts before the season started, Bob, where he was at. Look at Trevor Lawrence, even halfway through this season. These are guys now that are looked at as franchise quarterbacks. Hurts, before his injury, was going to probably win the MVP It looks like Trevor Lawrence is going to get the Jaguars maybe back into the playoffs with a red-hot second half. So he's made progress. It's incremental progress. He hasn't improved by leaps and bounds, but that's okay. When we're talking about a rookie, Bob, and let's face it, not a great offensive coordinator, shaky offensive line at times, inconsistent run game, and wide receivers who are up and down.
No, I agree with that. You can also probably apply it in time to Justin Fields and how he's playing in Chicago. But yeah, it takes some time. And Trevor Lawrence, nobody's hotter right now. 14 touchdowns, 1 pick in his last 6 or 7 games. So they're on a roll. They control their own destiny, does Jacksonville. Let's go out to Chris in Kennedy Township. Hey, Chris.
Oh, hi, Bob. Hi, Andrew. Hey, big win for the Penguins. Really impressed with what they did and with the way Jari kept them in the game. But this is mostly a call for Andrew. I just want you to know Pitt maintaining a very comfortable 13-point lead right now in the Carrier Dome against a moribund Syracuse team.
Can you get this clown off the air, please?
Can't wait to talk with you tomorrow about it at 2 o'clock on 93.7 The Fan.
Yeah, I was going to mention it since he did. The Orange are going down, and it looks like Pitt's three-point shooting is going to bring them down.
Well, I didn't think we were allowed to talk about games while they were still in progress, Bob. I thought that was somehow.
No, we're not allowed to show highlights, but we can talk about them.
Well, we could talk about it. We're also not allowed to break into play-by-play of what's happening. That's also against broadcast rules.
I'll tell you what, I will say this about Pitt real quick and get your thoughts here, but this team has come together pretty well, faster than I thought after I saw them early in the season. And, you know, if they win this, they'll be 2-0 in the ACC, and that's a better start than any of the last several seasons. But I like what they have in terms of some pretty high-quality, guys who play a good game. I mean, they're not going to rattle off this kind of shooting performance every night, but I think they're going to be in just about most games in the ACC.
Yeah, and they had 2 things that have worked against them that they've been able to overcome. Dior Johnson, their biggest recruit since Steven Adams, his off-court issue, not on the team. And then John Hughley. John Hughley was looked at as Pitt's best player, returning player coming into this year. He didn't play again tonight. They've gotten very little from him from a production standpoint, and yet they've been able to overcome that to some extent. Yeah. So I agree. 9-4, not what we expected given what's going on with those 2 players.
I am surprised about Hughley. When he came back, I thought he was going to be the guy they're going to go to in a double-double kind of role, and yet they're winning.
Looked very out of shape.
Right, and I don't know if that's it or not, but whatever the case is, they need to get him back to where he was. And if you put him into the equation, and I don't know about Dior Johnson. I don't know what's going to happen with him, but it's certainly a brighter situation than it was in the past couple of years. We'll take a break, come back with more. This is the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call right here on Pittsburgh CW.